So look here, Revelation 3, verse 20. We got to talk about this verse because this is just a very well-known verse. Verse 20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him, and he with me. Okay, this is, I know it is normally used in sort of an evangelistic setting. This is not an evangelistic setting. Jesus is talking to a church. Okay, so here's what Jesus is saying. I think this verse actually means something quite different than we often think of it. Here's what Jesus is saying. Your church has sent Jesus out the door, and you've shut the door on Jesus. So when your church is meeting, where is Jesus? He's outside. He's knocking at the door of your church. So imagine having a church service with no Jesus. Jesus is not present. He's not being worshiped. He's not being rightly adored. He's not being exalted. They're talking about and focused on all the wrong things. And where's Jesus? Jesus is outside. He's been kicked out of the church, and he's standing there going, I'm knocking on the front door of the church. Hey, guys, open the door. I will come in, and I will fellowship with you, and you can fellowship with me. I will give you all of myself to you, and I will delight in you. I will be absolutely thrilled. I will delight in my church, but the door must be open to let Jesus in. And yes, we do believe that in the sovereignty of God, God works within us to make us willing to open the door. That's certainly true. But it doesn't change the analogy that Jesus has been basically removed from the church. And he's saying, let me back in, let me eat with you, and I will have fellowship with you and you with me, which is kind of a preview of the Messianic banquet, which is to come. Last thoughts on this. I know we're running low on time.
Man, there's so much more we could say. I think, look at verse 21. Man, there's more. I might post something on this later. I don't know. Verse 21, the one who conquers, I will grant him to sit with me on my throne, as I also conquered and sat down with my Father on his throne. So overcoming here is, being zealous, repenting, inviting Jesus back in that way. I mean, he's sovereign, like he ultimately doesn't need our permission in that way, but it's like realizing, if we will be zealous, if we will repent when we sin, and recognize that Jesus might be not as close as we thought he was, what is the promise here? You'll sit down with me with him on his throne. And it's like, again, think of the Laodiceans. They think we don't need anything. That's literally what they say. We have need of nothing. And it's like, well, if you have need of nothing, you've arrived. You can't get any better. And Jesus is like, I've got something far better. I'm going to have you sit down on my throne.